man's got fire and a wild hot take. Hey, Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Hey, laughing loud when your team goes down. Hey, Straub boys run this sports town. Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. Hey, college game day and Thursday night. Hey, rivals fall and the banter flies. Hey, we bleed our teams till the day we die. Hey, S-T-R-A-U-E, two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Bro Sports Show.
Yes, it is. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Straub Bro Sports Show. Big Bro, tapping in with you with Little Bro, as I do every week. Little Bro, it's a little sad, as it is our last two-show run here, so I'm going to miss seeing you twice a week. But, regardless, how we doing today?
You know, I left work today, and it was the weirdest thing, because, like, the sky, it wasn't its normal gray. Like, it had like a blue tint to it, and there was like this big yellow thing in the sky. I don't know what that is. I hope we're okay, because I don't think we see that during these months. So we'll figure it out. But I don't know.
I know you must listen. I know you're delusional, and I know you're deprived of the sunlight, because even my aerospace engineer doesn't recognize sunlight because it's been so dark. Don't let that sun fool you. It's cold. It's very cold. It's really cold. Pops is in the building. Let's get rolling. My man Ray is in the building as well. Appreciate you as all big dog. Always big dogs. Drew, let's real quick, because obviously I put it in the show notes. I put it on the banner. Today, we're going to talk about both the AFC and NFC championship games. That's on the agenda, as well as NBA and college hoops. However, a little bit of coaching news to start off with. We haven't really used the news segment very often lately, but we do have some NFL coaching news.
Oh, I didn't even throw it to me. Yes. It was reported a little while after he turned down another interview with the Cleveland Browns for the head coaching position that Mike McDaniel accepted the offensive coordinator position for the Los Angeles Chargers. First thoughts for me, at least, I think that's amazing for both sides of this here. In terms of the Chargers, you get an experienced coach that has head coaching abilities, but also has wherever he goes, an amazing offense. And then for a team that desperately needs some offensive consistency. And then on the McDaniel side, you're taking a break from head coaching, which is a massive responsibility. So you're kind of reeling back the responsibilities and the work. You are going back to what you know, and you are going to be able to work with, honestly, one of the I would say most promising offenses in the league, with Herbert, Vidal, Keenan Allen, and the whole receiving core. Honestly, the only thing that I think is potentially an issue is if the offense improves, but the team still struggles. How long until we start hearing McDaniel head coaching calls from the fan base?
I mean, as crazy as it is, there was a time where even at Michigan, Jim Harbaugh's job was on the line, but it kind of does seem unfathomable. But I mean, anybody's fireable, or anybody can be fired. Yeah, see, I have to give credit to three organizations that, for the most part, get a lot of ridicule for doing things wrong. I said it yesterday. Actually, four organizations. I really liked the Giants, although they've been hit or miss. Oh, that's for the kids. They've been up and down. Didn't do it on purpose. They've been up and down on hires and things like that. But I love them getting Harbaugh. I love the Falcons getting Stefanski for that offensive mind to try to retap into that. I absolutely love Robert Saleh going to the Titans, and I love this. This is what did I say when we talked about Mike? I said he should go be a coordinator for a year. This is perfect, and I absolutely think this is perfect. I think this is exactly what this Chargers team needs to try to take the next step, or at least figure out if the next step is possible. That's something that we don't talk about enough with some of these teams. It isn't always take the next step. Sometimes we have to see if I can even do it. And because if we can't, we may have to blow this up, may have to trade Herbert, may have to fire Harbaugh. We may have to do some stuff. This is the way to retool. This is what we talked about yesterday with the Texans when we talked, or Tuesday with the Texans when we talked about get a veteran in, improve the run game. Tinker, don't overhaul. This is a great job of the Chargers doing that.
Absolutely. And I think also to make in the McDaniel point of view, when obviously the remaining jobs, while some are good, there's no home run job that that coaches are gunning for.
It's gone.
But in a year or two, maybe if Andy Reid retires or Houston stagnates in the playoffs again,
Sirianni's out in Philly,
an opening with a team that is basically playoff ready but needs that elevation can look, and if the Chargers start to succeed, go, maybe McDaniel deserves another shot, and now he's got an amazing opportunity rather than going somewhere where he has to rebuild.
The only hole I can poke in what you're saying is next year you have to sit behind Tomlin, because Tomlin will have the choice of any job that he wants.
If he comes back next year.
Right. If he does, like people think he will, that would be the person. But still, I agree with your logic. All right. No more coaching. The coaching carousel has run out of quarters, and we're not putting any more back in. Let's talk about the games this weekend, Drew. It's conference championship week, and we are going to start with the AFC.
I messed up that spelling.
Oh, that's going to bother me and you.
That's going to bother, Champions okay. And hips.
Champions. That's a call out to some old wrestling. And shout out to my guy Nate Hose. We miss you, Coach. Coach is now the coach of the offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Cobras. We'll get to see Coach this year. Shout out to my guy and somewhat of a new father still too. So shout out to our guy, Coach Nate. Championships. So we start in Denver, where the New England Patriots travel to take on Jared Stidham and the Denver Broncos. Bro, Jared Stidham has not thrown an NFL pass in a real game, minus preseason, in over 2 years. The real easy way for us to do this preview would go, yep, all right, check out, see you later. New England's defense is going to have their way. New England by 100. Let's move on. Okay, well, that's not fun. So we're going to break this down in a different way. Here's my question to you. Could you argue that because he has no pressure, the defense hasn't seen much of him, could you argue that Jared Stidham has less pressure on him than Drake May, therefore should be walking into this game with a bit more confidence? And shout out to Sterling Purnell in the building as well. Appreciate you.
Mike. Absolutely. I think that's the take here is you have a quarterback who has been around somewhat, been in multiple offenses, is the backup because he fits the offensive scheme of Sean Payton so well. He is at home. He is going up against a team that, while the New England Patriots have been there before, this team hasn't been this far before. And he has I would say, the first or second best defense behind him remaining to pick him up if he stumbles a little bit. And if we're looking at the Drake May side of this, this is your first real shot in the playoffs. You are coming up against a Denver defense that is not going to make this easy.
Mm-hmm.
The week prior, you struggled against a good defense and truly only kind of got into as big of a lead because of the other quarterback playing so poorly. You're going into a very tough environment in Denver, and you have a head coach in Mike Vrabel that seems to have figured it out, but unfortunately has a history, especially as NFL head coach, of getting you to this point, and then the week later going, Mike Vrabel made some really weird calls in that game, and we were talking about them stumbling and losing. And so if I'm Drake May, I think there is a much more pressure on me than there is Jarrett Stidham, because Jarrett Stidham, he knows he's not starting next year. He knows there's not this, of him being the guy. He's going to go out there, he's going to do his job, and he's going to say, hey, defense, I'm going to do as best I can. You got this.
Have my back. Here's the thing. Like I said, the easiest thing to say is he's going to go out, he's going to throw 3 interceptions, he's going to be confused, he's not going to run the offense well, and the Patriots are going to walk away. Cool. Show's over. See you guys Tuesday. We have seen championship level defenses carry subpar quarterback play to championships. Everything gets tight. Yes, we had a great game between the Bills and the Broncos last week. Okay. And it was a high-scoring game. That's nice. We had a 17-10 game on the other side with LA and Chicago. I know weather played into that, but that's the other thing. Seattle's not a nice place to play in this time of year. Denver's not a nice place to play this time of year. New England wouldn't be a nice place to play this time of year. LA is the only place left on this side, on this bracket, that would have been a decent place. That's part of this level and this time of year football. So we've seen it happen. That's why we have to give it some love. We have to show the path there because it's possible. The one thing that I can say about Jarrett Stidham is, and this is what it was said about him when he came out in college. It's what he said about him in his limited opportunities. Some in New England. Let's not forget he was there a year in Oakland and then the rest of these years in Denver. The kid can throw it deep. He's got an arm. He can stretch the defense. The problem is, the reason he's not a starter is the deep ball isn't as accurate as the top 32 quarterbacks in the league. Handling pressure isn't a top 32 skill set in the league. To be able to read those defense on a consistent basis, week in, week out, not something he's one of 32 the best at. He doesn't have to do that, though. He just has to be good for 2 games. Realistically, 1.5. 1 maybe. The defense can carry you through one of them, but he's got to be good for just 2 games. And in his career, he's had games. Now, the one thing that is the kind of the problem for him is not many games that he's gone without throwing interceptions, but he's put touchdowns on the board. So if you can get the defensive effort that the Texans gave the Patriots in the first half last week, if the Broncos can give that kind of defensive effort, and he just can sling that thing around and stay somewhat within himself, they have every chance.
No, I think you're absolutely right. The one thing I will say is the accompaniment around him isn't star-studded, and so a lot of those guys are going to have to step up with him. But hey, it's anyone's game, especially in Denver and especially with that defense. Real quick, breaking news. While we're doing this, honestly, we should have seen this coming because he declined a second interview with the Browns today. The Ravens are hiring Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter as their head coach. And Ken, we kept it, and I'm glad I kept it. Coach is interviewed by 4+ teams. Jesse Minter, 7 different teams he had an interview with. He was wanted by pretty much everyone else that didn't already have a head coach set in mind, and he kind of had his pick of the litter, and he chooses Baltimore. What do we think about it?
I don't know. We know
how the Chargers defense is. It's really good.
Yes. That Baltimore defense absolutely needs improvement. The problem for me is, and let's see what happens at offensive coordinator. The Ravens have been knocking on the doorstep and have lost because the offense hasn't made the plays it's needed. So I'm really glad that you got a better defensive coach, possibly. I'm really glad that he's going to get this defense better. Great. If doesn't matter if Lamar is still unhappy, if Lamar is not playing well, and if down the stretch Lamar isn't making the throws, Mark Andrews isn't making the catches, and Derrick Henry isn't in the game.
Yeah, no, true. One thing I will say, a new head coach sometimes breathes life into star players. You know, a new guy with new energy that allows him to kind of be more of himself. We'll see what happens there. But I will say the one thing that is, I think I can give them the benefit of the doubt on is that while he's going to fix the defense and the defense is going to be great. Guys like Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, sometimes they don't need a super strict and rigid scheme for them to be successful. Not saying that they're the exception, but it might be okay to basically be like, hey, I'm going to run the defense. We're going to get someone to run the offense. But at the end of the day, these guys are going to make plays happen. And as long as our defense keeps us in it, we can be okay.
You're right. The only problem is we have a bit of history that is coming out that has been happening in Baltimore and it's not working. So we'll see. I guess my hope, if I'm a Baltimore fan, is I hired this coach with a defensive background. He's going to coach up the defense and be involved, and he's going to get with Lamar and allow Lamar to pick out the offensive coordinator he wants. That way I know that relationship is solid. So, all right, no more coaching news. Let's get back to the games. I will say, to touch and bring back what you were talking about, and we'll then move to the NFC Championship game after that, with the Patriots and Broncos, and you mentioned it. You know, the surrounding cast around Drake May is okay, but he is ascending to become a good/great quarterback. Therefore, the skill set level, I can turn from a C to an A-. I can turn to a B to an A+. The Broncos, it's been hit or miss, and this is not a super loaded skill position team like you talked about. So the problem for them is, you know, if you had if Jarrett Stidham was subbing in for, I almost called him Drew Brees, Matthew Stafford, we'd be like, you know what? I mean, he can throw the deep ball. If Puka gets open a couple times, we can make some things happen. That's the problem here. Denver's going to need the running game to come alive. You know, watch out for some, Statue of Liberty plays, or, some, what do they, the throwback to the quarterback, the Philly special, things like that. I do want to mention, because I heard it today, though, the last time we had this kind of situation a couple years back is when Nick Foles filled in. And obviously we know what happened with the Eagles, but we'll see. Let's move down to the NFC. Actually, I'm going to put you on the spot. Is there any way for the Broncos? Any way you're picking the Broncos here? I know we laid it out, but is there any way you're picking the Broncos?
Jarrett Stidham doesn't turn the ball over, and the Broncos hold the Patriots to under 17 points.
Wow.
It's tough. It's tough, especially with that offense and the defense that could swarm and pick the ball up. We saw it in Houston. But if both those things happen, I think Denver can pull out a win, especially at home.
It's hard to see, and I have to say consistent here. This is a team that I said had an easy path to the division, and now they've had an easy path to the Super Bowl. It's hard to see them not completing the journey with what we know about this Patriots team. It's like we talked about with Alabama or an Ohio State. It's hard to not see the Patriots do it because we're just really used to them doing it. Let's switch over to the NFC side, as we have a divisional rivalry. We've got round 3 from the NFC. The Rams travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Drew, for Seattle, when you watch, normally when you would watch the game from last week and you would see a team that plays not in a dome, but basically in LA, and traveled on the road to Chicago. The weather messes them up. You would almost kind of throw it away because you would go, well, that, you know, it's Chicago and it's windy and it's bad weather. When we play them, it's going to be different, but there's some things we can learn. It's going to be just as bad in Seattle as it was in Chicago. If you're Seattle, are you happy or not happy? Are you excited because you go, this team scored 17 points against that Bears defense, we're going to shut them down? Or are you on the other side where you go, man, that's not normally how the Rams play in those kind of games. Normally it doesn't work out well when it's windy and it's snowy like that, but they came out on top even with a Hail Mary and miraculous play at the end. Which side of the ball would you lean on if you're in that Seattle locker room?
Oh, well, I would never be over too confident going into an NFC Championship game, but in general, I would tell myself this Rams team, regardless of how they do it, knows how to win, and that is the most dangerous team regardless of what their stats look like. And so I'm equating this game to the college football national championship in this sense. Seattle is Indiana. Not here that often. The offense is pretty good and can come alive, and the defense can get it done when it needs to and is very swarming and very good. But on the other side, you got Miami, a team that, when counted upon, is going to make life so difficult for you that maybe they don't win every single game, but they're never going to get blown out. They're never going to look like the worst team by a mile. And so if I'm Seattle, I have to play the game like Indiana played Miami, where even if you are up 7-10 points going into the fourth quarter, you have to keep scoring. You have to keep your foot on the gas. You can't try to drain the clock away, because this Rams team, regardless of how much time is left, is going to find a way to put up points. And if you can get yourself enough of a gap where when you get the ball, all you need to do is run out the clock, that's when you can finally take your foot off the gas and play conservative. But if there's even a chance that they can get the ball back and tie or win this game, you have to stay aggressive. And that means going for on fourth down instead of taking a punt or a field goal, passing on short down situations to make sure you get the first down, things like that, because you can't try to just rely on your defense, because this Rams team is too good to just let that defense take them over.
Anything within 17 points is reachable if you're playing the Rams. The AFC Championship game is going to come down to whether or not, flat out, Jared Stidham plays well.
Yes.
If he plays really good, if he plays good, Denver can win the game. If he doesn't, Denver doesn't have a chance. It's a little bit different here. I think, and what I should have phrased the question of, after seeing that game, which locker room I say is more confident, not necessarily if the Seahawks were. If I'm the Rams, I'm pretty confident.
Yeah.
And this is why. My defense is better, not fully healthy. Obviously, we know it's San Francisco, could be. Facts are facts, they're not. Apparently it's telephone poles. If you've heard that today, you've heard that. If not, look it up. My defense is better than San Francisco's. If I can disrupt Sam Darnold just a little bit, I already know I can put points up on a good defense, because that Bears defense is not bad. I know the first half was, especially when you watch that Bears defense is not bad at all. We've praised it all year. So I've already kind of been tested. Seattle hasn't been tested. So if I'm LA, I'm looking at this and going, man, if I can just weather this first little bit of weather, figure it out, get accustomed to it, get cold for the first quarter, let my hands numb up, fall down in the snow a couple times, get hit really hard when it's really cold out. Once I'm in the game, as long as I look up on that scoreboard and that thing's within 17 points, I go, all right, we got this now. Because and listen, I'm gonna be consistent with the same way that I was with the Panthers until they proved me wrong. I have seen too much of Sam Darnold to know that when it starts to get tight, he cracks under the pressure. Here you go. Here's a chance to prove me wrong. I don't need you to go. I don't need you to win the Super Bowl to prove me wrong. You win this game, you'll prove me wrong. But but nonetheless, if I'm going into this game on the Ram side, I'm confident because in my feelings, in my thoughts, up on the boards that we're working on, we weathered the storm of a good defense. We can do it again.
I think you're absolutely right. However, I will say this is the toughest defense that the Rams have played the entirety of the playoffs. And playing in Seattle in a playoff game is probably one of the hardest things to do if you are a team that relies on coming back and having game-winning drives.
I guess the only thing, this is the same as what before, the only hole that I can poke in that theory, which you're right about, if I had to pick any team to say go to Seattle in the NFC Championship game,
quarterback. Not
only am I taking a team within that division because they have to do it, they're familiar with it. Yeah, I'm taking that quarterback too. So we have the best setup possible here in the NFC Championship game. We've got the quarterback who's done it, who will go on the road and rip your heart out, versus a defense and a team that has said our best way to get there is to do it at home, and they're going to do it at home.
All right. And before we end things real quick, let's say the Patriots win, because obviously they're heavily favored.
Okay.
Is there a difference in how you feel in the Super Bowl based on which team wins in the NFC?
Honestly, yes. And now you can call this, some people will call it hating on the Seahawks. I'm going to call it being consistent with what I've seen all year and what I believe. In my heart, if the Rams were to win, I would favor the Rams over the Patriots. If Seattle were to win, I would probably favor the Patriots over Seattle.
Okay.
Because in a neutral site, in warm weather, two of those teams on the board have an offense that can light it up. One of those teams won't have the quarterback. The other team can, but can also not. And that would be why I would consider that the difference.
Fair enough.
All right. Drew, we're going to bring it back. You want to go? I'm going to let you flip the coin and decide if you want to go pro or college.
Let's go college. Or no, let's go pro. Let's go pro.
You want to go pro? All right, let's do it. Let's switch over to the NBA. Let's check out your current, as of today, NBA standings. And Drew, for the first time in weeks, our Cleveland Cavaliers have gotten themselves out of that light sky blue play-in position and then gotten themselves into the 5th seed, a playoff spot, only by a couple games, obviously, a half a game, honestly, but still, things starting to turn in the right direction. However, they did get to beat up on the bad Hornets. Regardless, spin this web of lies that you are going to tell me that things are starting to turn around for the Cavaliers and nothing should change.
I'm not gonna. Well, I'm gonna say nothing should change, but it's not that things aren't turning around. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it because the only championship we have is from a team that regularly ended the season not as the 1 seed. And so, in basketball, it is very, very more common than in football. The 1 seed isn't really always the champion. And so, if I'm the Cavaliers, I'm looking at this and going, okay, we stay in the top 6, we get healthy, we go into the playoffs full strength, and we make a run against a very weak East this year.
Normally, I would agree with you, except 2 problems. Number one, more than likely at some point you're going to play the New York Knicks, and we have
Which
seen
you can't beat.
right. The thing about basketball, especially more than football, and it's the same way in baseball. When you play it, when you have to get to the playoffs and play a team multiple games, okay, at the end of that series, barring major injuries, we normally have a great idea of who the better team is. Now, obviously, with baseball and hockey, a hot pitching staff or a hot goalie can swing that. But in basketball, it kind of is simple sometimes. Styles make fights. In the playoffs, yes, the best team will usually come out of each conference. But usually when you get to that conference championship, it is a display of who was able to match up better each round. Now, sometimes your team is so good, Oklahoma City, Golden State, LeBron, and those Cavaliers. Sometimes your team is so good that it doesn't matter and you're just going to win. Other times it is that style. We don't match up well with New York. Jalen Brunson owns us. Cat turns into prime Wilt. It just doesn't work for us. That's my problem where you say, well, let's just get in there and go. Because not only is New York a bad matchup for us, I'm not sure Detroit's a good matchup for us in the playoffs.
Well, it's JV Bickerstaff, so.
So a lot riding on, hey, these guys who have not even been close to showing that they can do it are going to do it this time. We're not talking about a team that's, lost in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, on the doorstep of making it to the NBA championship. We're talking about a team that's barely getting out of the first round. So I'm having a hard time because I'm sorry when I'm talking about the Cavaliers, because I grew up with LeBron's Cavaliers before watching, or after having to watch Ricky Davis and Darius Miles in the Cavaliers. Oof. Championships are nothing, man. Especially in the NBA. So this team, to me, unless something miraculous is going to happen in the playoffs, I don't see where there's a formula to make this work.
And that's very fair. I would only say the reason why I can agree with you on that is the one thing that I've talked about since the inception of this core Cavs team, and what it's missing is grit, is toughness, is going into New York like the Indiana Pacers did and saying, we're not going to get bullied by you in this New York crowd. We are going to bump with you in the paint the entire game and come out of this better than you are. And the issue is we have players that in theory should be able to do that. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, guys that showed some toughness and showed that they're able to get physical, but seem to just kind of wither away when it comes playoff times. And so I can agree with you on that part, because I don't think that they can get tough enough in certain instances. However, this core group, I believe, is one of the most, the whole team is one of the most talented in the East. And so if at some point along the way they can get healthy and figure it out, they can beat, I think, any team in this series. In a 7-game series, I should say.
I mean, with an unhealthy Boston team, I agree. Basically with them not having Tatum, I agree. They're good. Something has to. Jared Allen is now older and he's on his last leg. Evan Mobley has stuttered in terms of development. Donovan Mitchell is checking in and out of games. It's going to be hard for me. Other than that, congratulations to the Pistons as of right now, running away with the conference. I really don't care about much else there. We will switch over to the Western Conference. Oklahoma City, San Antonio Spurs only 6.5 games out of standing away. I think as much as the Oklahoma City Thunder deserve the praise and deserve the love, it's scary what this San Antonio team is doing because they're technically not supposed to be here yet. This is still a team with young teenagers. What they're getting out of their guard play this year has been nothing flat out short of amazing. And it's a year in advance, which means, which is scary, this young team is going to get some playoff experience. Similar to, I want to call it like that Golden State team, early Steph and Clay years, where you kind of take those bumps and you take those bruises and you take those lumps, and it's a different, I would say, a different scenario than the Cavaliers, because the potential there, we know what it is. It's all NBA potential there. So to see them kind of be ahead of schedule with as good as we already see Wemby is, that's scary.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And I think if you're Oklahoma City, I think you are hoping that that inexperience leads San Antonio to getting dumped out of the playoffs before they meet you in the Western Conference Finals. Because I think Oklahoma City in a 7-game series from 3 to 15 can beat any of them handedly. San Antonio, you talked about matchups, is the only team I think that can actually give them fits. And right now, the only time that they'll see each other is in the Western Conference Finals. Now, like I said, San Antonio could go meet Denver or Houston or LA, has a bunch of experienced teams, and just get outplayed because they don't know how to work the playoffs. But if they get through all those teams and make it to the Western Conference Finals, I would not be afraid to say I like San Antonio maybe a bit more than Oklahoma City, just because, one, there's no one on that Oklahoma City team that could guard Wemby. It's been shown throughout the regular season. There's nothing you can do.
Him and Chet are fun to watch, but no.
Yeah. And while we do give Shai a ton of credit, he's an amazing player. He's an MVP. There is some stuff lacking on defense that those San Antonio guards can absolutely take advantage of and draw some of those bigs away so they're not just constantly double teaming Wemby.
And I wanted to bring this up because you said that. Styles make fights. Even with Jokic, although Jokic is probably the only one,
yeah,
San Antonio is going to win the Wemby versus matchup almost every night. The problem has been the guards were able to beat San Antonio's guards. First of all credit to De'Aaron Fox because he's had a career resurgence. Hey, that kid can shoot. Yeah, we know that. What it comes down to, though, is when you're going to play Shai with Stephon Castle and Devin Vassell and De'Aaron Fox, the ability to put him on the defensive end, make him chase, make him run around, attack him enough, that's the key there if you're San Antonio. So though getting those guys experience are there. The problem for me is the most dangerous teams in the West all need a move for me. I don't know what I'm getting out of the Lakers. I mean, yes, Houston is dangerous. Top 4, they're dangerous with what they have. 6 or 5, I don't know what the Lakers are going to be. 6, I don't know what the Suns are going to be. Minnesota needs a move. Golden State, it's just not happening. Portland, it's a great, nice young story, but it's not going to happen. The Clippers, I don't know what I'm getting out of James Harden and Kawhi Leonard every night. And in a 7-game series, how many of those games are they going to actually play? Oh, they're going to play all 7. It's the playoffs. Are you sure? Yeah. Are you really sure? Because I don't know. And then 11 through 12, I mean, Dallas is in where San Antonio was 2 years ago, where we're developing our young star. The question I have for you is team number sitting in the 7th seed, team sitting in the 11th seed, Minnesota and Memphis. Very heavily rumored, reported on that Minnesota is making a play to try to get Ja Morant. I feel like, and I say this for the Cavaliers, stars win games. New York had to go out and get Cat to put with Jalen Brunson because they needed another star. If I'm Minnesota, I got to do this. I need to pull the trigger on this. I have to, maybe not the greatest pun intended with John Moran involved, but I have to do whatever Memphis wants. I've got to get another superstar to put with my superstar if I have any chance in the Western Conference.
That's very fair. The only issue I think is one, I'm not the only one. Many NBA executives, including myself, have very much soured on John Morant. While obviously we aren't seeing, the boneheaded moves, the stuff that he has done previously where he's gotten himself suspended. One, the offensive contributions have kind of stagnated, whether that's the scheme in Memphis or whether that's something else, obviously would be seen with the trade. However, it truly, if I'm Minnesota, I am going up to Anthony Edwards, I'm going up to Rudy Gobert, I'm going up to kind of my main core and saying, does John Morant, would John Morant fit with you guys? Because the issue with someone, let's say they bring in, Giannis. Giannis is this guy that, yes, is going to want touches, is going to want the ball, but wants to win, right? And he's never heard a bad thing about him in the locker room. This man is a joy. Nothing wrong with saying. With Ja, there definitely has to be some concern of, is he okay taking up not a backseat, but a secondary role to Anthony Edwards? And is that going to cause some scuffle? Because listen, Ja has been the man in Memphis since he's been there. And the issue is that not going to lie, it took Jimmy Butler 10 to 15 years of his NBA career to be able to take that back seat. Is Ja okay with taking that back seat to Anthony Edwards for the betterment of the Minnesota Timberwolves? And are my current players on the Timberwolves going to be okay with bringing someone like that in the locker room?
Very well said. You didn't say the word. I'm going to say it for you. You went around it and still got there as quick as you would have if you went through it. Character issues. Whether or not we agree with them, whether or not we believe them, it is perceived that John Morant has character issues. Therefore, you become a liability. Therefore, you not being on the court makes you less valuable. Therefore, teams don't value you as much, less likely to trade you, for you, pay for you. As you were saying that, I started to be reminded something. And obviously, we know much more now than we did at the time. But I'm reminded of a young Allen Iverson who was starting to have issues in Philly and doubled down on it and tried to ride through it. And ultimately, it didn't work out and had a revival of his career when he went to Denver. But still, I wonder what could have happened if, when it was getting bad, if Iverson could have been moved, had a fresh start, get in behind some other veterans, team up with another, I want to say better, but although I do believe Anthony Edwards is better than John Morant, regardless, but team up with somebody just as good, better, whatever, and then restart the prime of his career. I wonder what it could have been for Allen Iverson. I wonder what it could be for John Morant. It's souring in Memphis. The culture around Memphis, and I don't want to dive too much into this because we don't know all of what is true. But here's what I know. Memphis is a dangerous city. And if Ja's, from what's been reported on the bad side, if Ja's hanging with the wrong people, it's really easy to find that crowd in a place like Memphis. And that's just a fact. Now, if it's not true, then maybe we just need to do some PR repair and get healthy. But I wonder what a change of scenery could do for him to reset and start over.
No, you're absolutely right. A change of scenery
and have some of that spotlight taken away from him, which could be part of his problem. Sorry, go ahead.
Did you finish your thought?
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you. No, listen, sometimes a change of scenery is all a player needs to truly figure it out. However, it is up to the player to see the change of scenery as a new opportunity and take it with open arms. Because if he goes in there, acts like he did in Memphis, and starts to kind of butt heads with Anthony Edwards, Minnesota will just as quickly get him out of there as he got him in, because they know that Ant is their guy.
And a team that's been quick to pull the trigger on moving guys out.
Absolutely.
I lost it, so that's okay. Yeah, I lost it. The only other I was gonna say, that was what I was looking at. The only other I would say thing worth mentioning, obviously, Cooper Flag and the Mavericks are fun to watch. And New Orleans is really, 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 really bad. And shout out to Mari from the Cuyahoga Falls Rapids. Appreciate you.
Telling you, get Chris Paul to the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, okay.
I thought of that in the moment when we did this, and the more I thought about it, the more I went, that would be an amazing move for Cooper Flag's career. Amazing potential there.
I can't wait till he gets to play with Kyrie. I mean, that in itself is going to be great. Also, speaking of the Dallas Mavericks, it has been reported and rumored that Rich Paul has told the Dallas Mavericks that he would like to see his client Anthony Davis moved before the deadline. With him having surgery and being out for months, I'm really not sure. If I'm Dallas, I might tell you no, and I'm willing for you to be unhappy about it, because I'm not getting anything in return for you, because nobody wants you right now.
And here's the thing, right? If I'm Anthony Davis, if I'm Anthony Davis, it's not like it's not working out because he's not getting touches or he's not, getting along with teammates. He's hurt. There's nothing. Yeah. Well, one, again, but two, there's no tape on this to truly say, okay, it's like the Ja Morant thing, right? It's not like Ja Morant where he needs to change of scenery or, a new place. He's hurt. Why give up on a team that has so much potential right now just because you're in a bad state, right? It doesn't make sense to me. Truly, I need to know what is going through his mind, why he wants a trade right now, other than maybe he just never wanted to be in Dallas in the first place.
I mean, he was shocked when he was traded to begin with. It hasn't looked good, but you're also talking about somebody who's 32 with a big man, a 32-year-old big man with a lot of injuries, a lot of leg and foot injuries and ankles and knees. That trajectory is already on its way down. That doesn't mean that he can't be a high caliber player, and that doesn't mean he can't put up his 20 and 11 like he has this year.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that he can have good stretches, but it's still on the decline. So I don't, and if he was healthy, we could be having the conversation. What contender is going to get Anthony Davis? Who needs a big man? Who's going to make the move and try to do, you know what I mean? Could a team like Hughes? I don't know, but he's hurt. So I don't.
That's the big thing, is he's hurt.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to move on from the NBA and we're going to wrap it up with some college basketball. It's time to talk about it on the Straub Bro Sports Show. We will be doing our Straub Bro Sports Show March Madness Challenge again this year. Our third year, right? Our third year this time. Yeah, outstanding there. But Drew, I will give you the floor to start it out before I debut my own segment.
Absolutely. Similar as last time, we're going to show you last week's scores. We're going to give you a quick glimpse into kind of the bracketology area, but obviously we're still at least 2 months away from that. So, or at least I would say a month and a half away from that. So we won't get too deep into it. And then we'll show you next week's games. This week, though, first one, going to put it out there because it's the only good win my team's going to have this year. Cincinnati 79-70 over number 2 Iowa State. Hey, amazing win for that. I don't think I think it said we hadn't beaten a top 2 program since like the 70s.
Just a quick timeout. I appreciate this for you because you don't get to do this during college football season for the most part. And I just kind of dominate with my own team. So I enjoy that now that we've got basketball season back. There's more Cincinnati on this show.
There won't be. I promise you, this season there will not be.
And as for the football season, I'm more hopeful for your team than you are.
You're absolutely right. Hey, I'm not getting into this, but with our transfers, I like what we're looking at.
Brody.
Good win for this one. We did lose to number 1 Arizona yesterday, so train got absolutely chopped off the track. But moving on, Purdue with a good win over USC, Duke with a dominant win over Stanford, Florida with a very good and close win over number 10 Vanderbilt. This Florida team struggled early on, but looks to be picking up pace, while this Vanderbilt team kind of doing the opposite. Had a great start of the season and now is kind of losing steam. Number 11 BYU getting outshot by number 15 Texas Tech. This BYU team is still good, but I think definitely not as electric as previous BYU teams have in years past. So we'll see what happens there. Big 12 like in football. Big 12 like in football, beating each other up and not really having, some teams that are ahead of others.
And how do we pronounce his last name? AJ Devansta.
Oh, sure.
We're introducing names.
You're the player guy now. I'm the team. Number 14, North Carolina drops a game, 78-84 to Cal. North Carolina kind of up and down right now. We'll see what happens as they move through the ACC, but not a great start. Number 21, Georgia, dominant victory over number 17, Arkansas, 90-76. Arkansas with some impressive wins this season, but also some not great losses.
Hey, that Calipari guy can coach, huh?
He can coach, but he also can lose some games. Georgia, I will say, though, a team that has kind of come out of the depths of the SEC basketball and coming alive this season. I like what I'm seeing so far. And finally, round out Saturday, Kentucky with an 80-78 win over number 24 Tennessee, a buzzer beater, and then a scuffle after the game.
A little scuffle after. I like it.
This Kentucky team had a brutal start of the season, and so this is a good character building win for them. I like to see it. Then we move to Tuesday, final 4 games of the wrap up. Purdue, like I said, a good win over USC, but drops to the other California team, UCLA, 69-67. Shout out my old coach, Mick Cronin, on the win there. Number 15, Vanderbilt, after barely losing to Florida, gets demolished by that same Arkansas team that got demolished by Georgia, 93-68. SEC, I don't know what to think of you right now. You're kind of like the SEC in football. You get blown out one week, you blow out another team the other week. So we'll see what we get kind of down the stretch as we get into that. NC State 80-76 over number 18 Clemson. Clemson, unfortunately, I think is going to be the same as previous years, where they look really good and then they look really bad and then they disappoint in the tournament. It's just looking like that year again. And finally, I had to put it out there because you have to.
And you chewed my ear about them all Saturday.
Number 25, undefeated Miami of Ohio, goes to overtime again to stay undefeated with a 107-101 win over, it says Kent State, but it's Kent State. Ken, listen, this Miami of Ohio team, very much reminiscent, I know obviously in a lesser league, but very much reminiscent of the Dayton team that didn't get a chance to go into the tournament because of COVID with the Knicks player. I can't think of his name.
That's all right.
But a team that maybe isn't going to do anything in the tournament just because of the talent and the coaching on the other side. But 100% you're going to see 1 or 2 players in either round 1 or round 2 in the draft just because they're elevating to that level that they need to actually get some national recognition.
100%. Finally ranked too. I'm very happy to see that. With this modern college basketball, if they remain ranked like this, they shouldn't have a problem.
But no, I think you're absolutely right. And the thing, they can get in at large, but if they only lose like a game or 2, the issue is if they lose 3 or 4 and then they don't win thank you, Obi Toppin. It was going to bother me. No, but hey, shout out to Miami, Ohio. I hope it keeps it rolling. It's really cool to see a MAC team get this recognition.
You derailed me because I couldn't even get to my point because I was too busy trying to find the name. But yeah,
know.
I love what they're doing. It's getting the only thing that's gonna hurt them.
Close.
They can't keep winning close like this, or they're gonna knock you when we start to get down to it.
No, you're absolutely right.
Go ahead.
All right, those were the games of the last week. Some bracketology really quickly. Your number 1 seeds, Arizona, the only remaining undefeated team, looking absolutely amazing. Michigan not far behind them, looking so good. But you saw that they are beatable and that there is something that you can attack something. They're not, because listen, when they were undefeated, this Michigan team looked like the best team in all of basketball for the past couple of years.
Yeah, we're winning games by 30 plus.
Yeah, so you can you can see there's a way to attack them. And Duke and UConn obviously looking absolutely amazing, and so no surprise there.
A question for you though, I do want to point out, we were very hard on UConn. We were very hard on Bobby Hurley because of the way he was acting. You notice it's been very quiet out of him, yes. And look at what UConn's doing again.
Absolutely, and I think that's obviously the right way to go about it. So we're glad to see him because UConn's always been a great team. Not going to go through this middle section, but just so you know, this is going to be very important as we get into next month or so. And then finally, the conference breakdown. The SEC again are the leaders as they were last year, but Big Ten, ACC, and Big 12 right up there with them. Nothing really crazy there.
All right, so Drew, I'm all over. I went back and forth. What do I do? What do I keep it simple, right? Big bros, big bets. Our Straub bro of the week. So it's time to unleash big bros, big ballers on the men's side. Now, for this first week, I just wanted to point out to you some of the names that are leading some of the major statistical categories in college basketball. Now, we start at the top with the points leader, which is kind of funny because as of last night, 2 people are now tied for that, but I wasn't going to update the graphic with 2 people. So first, and Drew, I'm going to get into rival with you, and here's what I think we're going to do at the end of the basketball season is we're going to take your 3 best names from the college football season, or 2, and we're going to put them up with 2 of my best names from the college basketball season. Excuse me, but shout out to Dior Johnson from Tarleton State, a junior guard, leading the NCAA with 24.1. Now, I want to do a quick update for you. After last night, he is now tied for the lead with 23.6 points with senior forward Nick Martinelli out of Northwestern. So shout out to both of those guys. Your assist leader in the NCAA on the men's side, Braden Smith, a senior guard out of Purdue, 9.1 assists. Hey, Purdue basketball just continues to pump out good basketball players. Here's your name for you. Dereco Gillespie, a senior forward from the Kent State Golden Flashes, your NCAA leader in rebounding with 12.4. Akron, with Freeman making it to the NBA, Akron winning the MAC championship, making a run in the NCAA tournament. Now we turn around this year. Here comes Kent State trying to rebound. Kent State, a notoriously good basketball program over the years, have always been good to see them and not just getting some love, well-deserved there. My man on the boards. A tough loss there to Miami of Ohio in overtime. Your block leader in the NCAA with 3.2, UC Irvine Anteaters senior forward Kyle Evans. I love this. Listen, it was more. I loved the teams. I mean, all I did, realistically, was go get the stat leaders. But who it is and where these are, we talked about NIL in college football. We don't talk about it enough in college basketball, how it's starting to separate it. And our second MAC team on the board, your NCAA leaders in steals, Javante Campbell, senior guard out of Bowling Green.
That one, having 2 MAC teams on here is amazing.
Inorganic.
Absolutely. And I think that's what's so amazing about college basketball is because of how different some of these teams are, like Tarleton State, right? of course they're going to have a guard that's scoring 24 because I guarantee you the game plan is, hey, get it to Dior. He's going to shoot and he's going to score. But then you go all the way to Purdue and it's a Big Ten school. And I guarantee you that coach is, hey, I need at least 5 passes before anyone shoots. And Braden Smith took that to heart and is doing that every single time. It's amazing to see, truly.
Absolutely. Now, next week, I'm going to some big dogs. I'm going to give you my 5 right now, my 5 best players in college basketball. That's what I'm going to highlight next week. But I want to get you familiar with some of the guys leading the way. Drew, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Listen, if anybody knows us, okay, we don't just give love to the men, okay? It's time to talk about the women. So it's time to get this ready because there's going to be a whole lot of this coming. Let's talk about the women.
Oh, yeah. So, same format as the men. We have last week's scores. And, hey, we're going to see a lot of the same kind of teams here because we know our women's teams and we know which ones are balling. To start off, amazing game. 68-65, South Carolina over Texas. Here's a note here. South Carolina, not the top team right now. Listen, they're still blowing teams out by 30. I didn't put their 30-point win on that one. But they're winning here and they're doing great. However, there is a team right now playing absolutely amazing basketball. And that is number 1, UConn, back in the top spot. Absolutely amazing job from them so far. We'll talk about them at some point. They're not playing any like really good teams in the Big East right now in conference play. Moving on, Illinois, unranked Illinois with a blowout victory, 85-69 over number 8 Michigan. Listen, we see men's basketball teams get blown out randomly, and you go, oh, okay, that's a loss. You don't see that much on the women's side. Usually, the top 10 teams, if they lose, it's a close game. To see a team in the top 10 get blown like this, kind of telling. But we'll obviously see the rest of the season. Next, Ken, I am very sorry. Number 9, Louisville with a 13-point win over number 23 Notre Dame. Listen, Louisville team very, very good. Notre Dame team good, but not as good as in years past. Some progressing to do as the season goes on.
I didn't chime in on the men's side. You didn't add me in there. North Carolina absolutely obliterated our men's side.
I wasn't going to do that to you.
On the women's side, I mean, I champion Hannah Hidalgo because she is one of the top 2 or 3 best women's college basketball players right now in the game. However, this is not a strong Notre Dame team, and they're being carried by her. And the problem is, at the end of the day, she is a smaller guard, and you can only do so much if she's not going off for a triple-double.
No, you're absolutely right. And this Louisville team is all around just so good.
We also got smoked by UConn, too.
Yeah, I didn't want to put that in there either. All right. And finally, the wrap up your Thursday, number 15, Michigan State with a 73-71 win over number 24 Nebraska. Hey, Michigan State having great years in men's and women's. Love to see it because, listen, Michigan State is a basketball school. Don't get it twisted.
Yes. And if you haven't been keeping up with Tom Izzo's comments at Michigan State this year, he is completely unhinged in terms of having fun, and it has been amazing. His quotes on court storming were amazing.
Yeah, listen, that's a coach that knows he's got it made the rest of his career. You love to see it. All right, moving on to Sunday. Number 3, UCLA. Massive victory over number 12, Maryland. This UCLA team, man, I think, honestly, is one of my favorites. I know we know South Carolina, we know UConn. I think UCLA should be in the discussion with all of them and maybe above them with how good this team is this year.
And we're making a run last year before some injuries tripped them up too.
Exactly. Speaking of a team that I think is also legit, number 6 LSU, 91-72 win over number 13 Oklahoma. LSU team's always good, but again, looking very, very dangerous this year.
I mean, it's no surprise that your top 3 or 2, 3 or 4 of your top teams. I mean, look at those coaches. Look at what what she's done at LSU. Look at Gino Auriemma. Obviously, we know what's going on with South Carolina. There's no question there. So,
absolutely. Moving on to an upset. Mississippi State topples number 7 Kentucky 71-59. I think that kind of shows, like obviously LSU and UCLA with their big wins. When you lose like that to an unranked team, similar to what Michigan did, especially in the women's basketball game, you take a step back and you go, are you legit? And so that's something to notice there. Number 11, Iowa, with a 75-68 win over number 15 Michigan State after their win over number 24 Nebraska. I'm not going to take a lot of stock in. Two very good teams battled back and forth. Iowa kind of got pulled ahead because of late free throws. I still like this Michigan State team, so we'll see. Georgia apparently is a basketball school now. 82-59 win over number 16 Ole Miss. Very, very good win for them. Yeah, listen, they didn't make the semifinal of the national championship in the college football. They gotta play good in basketball. Oklahoma State 86-58 win over Iowa State, just massive blowout there. And number Tennessee with a 70-59 win over number 21 Alabama. Hey, if you can't beat them in football, beat them in basketball. Monday's win, number 12 Ohio State beating TCU in I'm pretty sure a revenge game from the tournament last year, 71-69. Good one there. And 73-61 win BYU over number 19 Texas Tech.
Haley Benlith not at TCU anymore.
Correct. Number 1 seeds UConn, South Carolina, Texas, UCLA. Obvious here. And some difference in conference. While the SEC still has a lot in the conference breakdown, Big Ten are your leaders with the ACC and Big 12 kind of coming down. Also, if you can notice here, not a lot of non-power 5-6 teams here. Very much, the upper echelon when it comes to women's basketball is the ones that are making the tournament.
It's starting to spread out, but there's still a very large gap. And especially on the women's side, a lot of those smaller teams will win their way in. It's mostly winning your way in on the women's side. So that's how the rest of that bracket will fill out. The Big East, man, come on. I mean, I know UConn is UConn, but come on.
Since I left, it's been downhill.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at you. Hey, same thing for the men. We're going to slide on over to the women's side and give you your statistical leaders on the women's side. We start with your points leader. And if you don't know this name now, you better get familiar with it. You should have been familiar with it last year when they made their run through the tournament and she was balling out with 26.9 points. Junior out of Iowa State, Audie Crooks. That girl is a beast. Okay. And the problem sometimes when you do talk about women's sports is some of the verbiage that you use for the men. Sometimes you don't bring over because, unfortunately, these women get body shamed and for the way that they look and the way that they play. So I don't mean that in a derogatory way at all when I call her a beast and he calls her a monster, because she's owning it in the paint and she is killing it for Iowa State right now.
No, absolutely. And like we talked about on the men's side, how Tarleton State has the points leader because they're just giving it to him. Audie Crooks is in a Power 5 school, a Big 12 upper echelon school, and it's the points leader. That's insanely impressive.
And she's not out there chucking up threes like Caitlin Clark.
No, in the paint.
Your assist leader with 9.2. You got 2 Northwestern players, one on the men's side in points, and then senior guard Caroline Lau, your assist leader, Northwestern. A school not in that Vanderbilt level yet, or the Indiana level yet, where we're like, oh, hey, they got NIL money and now they're trying to turn it around. That is a school that is desperate for good sports. That is a school with a lot of smart people who graduate and go and get great jobs. Give them a couple years, but it's starting to turn around. It's turning around a lot quicker on the basketball side than it is on the football side, but it's still looking good there, or looking a lot better than it has. So shout out to Northwestern, shout out to Caroline. Your NCAA women's leading rebounder with 13 a game from the Eastern Washington Eagles, sophomore forward Courtney Grossman, as we continue our small school love.
Yes, and that's
sorry, I was dying.
Listen, all to my heart. And I'm gonna champion these two, especially the freshmen being the block leaders is absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. Your NCAA block leader with 3.2 from the Portland Pilots, 6'3" freshman Julia Dallin. Yeah, listen, this is when it'll get fun come tournament time, when we see some of these individual stars start to shine through. And speaking of stars, your NCAA leader in steals with 5.5 a game. I did not do this on purpose. She was technically the last person put on a graphic because I did the men first and went through the women, but I was no way I was not going to put in junior Notre Dame Fighting Irish guard Hannah Hidalgo, doing it all for the Irish. A great defensive player. Doesn't get enough credit for that because we like to talk about the scoring a lot, but an amazing defensive player can get it done on the offensive end too. For my up and down Lady Irish.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to say, because I looked up because I was curious, notable University of Northwestern University alumni. Meghan Markle, crazy enough, Duchess of Sussex. Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Okay.
And Warren Beatty. Hey, Warren, dude, listen.
They need some money.
They need some money. Get your programs up and going again.
I love that you had no athletes in there as well. Shout out to our guy Mike Marshall tapping in with us
because it's Northwestern.
Well. I know. So yes, those are big bros, big ballers on your men and women's side. I'll play around with the graphic, and as I will with the men's side next week on the women's side, I will give you my 5 best female college basketball players.
Absolutely, and real quick, because we're only going to one a week, so I got to do this now, so we're gonna look at the men's games real quick. Tomorrow. Men's, Ohio State at number 3, Michigan. Ohio State, obviously, not known for a basketball school. They're in the bubble. Like, they're on the bubble watch. Not a bad school. This would go a long way, and rivalry always matters. Nothing crazy on Saturday other than the Houston and Texas Tech game. I think that's going to be a really good game.
Illinois is a good matchup as well.
Illinois-Purdue, I would say, is also a very good game. I just, personally, Big Ten basketball is so hard for me to watch because it's 7-footers just going up for it, but it's all right. Monday is the time to watch men's hoops. 23 Louisville at number 5 Duke is going to be a blockbuster game, as well as number 1 Arizona at number 13 BYU. If you can stay up that late, absolutely amazing. Tuesday, number 7 Nebraska. By the way, number 7 Nebraska. Ken, you know what? We can say Nebraska's back because we were talking basketball. That's what you meant.
I just had the wrong sport.
Exactly. Goes to number 3 Michigan. So Michigan, not an easy week for them. And had to put Miami on there. UMass coming to town. Absolutely fantastic there. That's
our Miami of Ohio watch. I like that. Both NFL games are Sunday. Mixing some college basketball on your Saturday with some NBA.
Absolutely. And the women's. So for future reference for everyone watching, women's games are Thursdays. If you got nothing going on Thursdays, watch some women's basketballs. Look at this schedule. 3 top 25 matchups on a Thursday. Iowa at Maryland, Kentucky at Tennessee, tonight. And South Carolina, Oklahoma. That's tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And then on Sunday, number 12, Ohio State goes to number 10, Iowa. So Iowa also not having an easy week. Neither is South Carolina, as number 5 Vanderbilt comes to them. Monday, number 7 Tennessee goes to number 18 Ole Miss in a good middle of 25, top 25 matchup. And Wednesday, right before the Thursday show, number 25 Washington goes to number 15 Maryland. But hey, we're winding down, obviously, in NFL. We finished college football. We're not going to be able to have some baseball until March, and that's just spring training.
When's the World Baseball Classic?
Oh, you know what? We're right. You are absolutely correct. So good call on that one.
Let's go Team USA.
Some people aren't hockey fans. Some people aren't NBA fans. Watching some college hoops, it always entertains.
I mix in some college. Well, I watch college basketball. I mix in hockey with it. Seattle Kraken may have the best jersey going in the NHL with the all black with that bright neon teal color. Yeah, shout out to them. That's amazing. I watched Toronto and Detroit last night while I was watching my Irish get beat up as well. Yeah. So Drew, our last 2-show week for a little while. We're going to pack it up. We're going to get you to 1 a week, condense a little bit. We'll still be here. Also, a little preview, as we're starting to sign contracts with the Cuyahoga Falls Rapids, I will start to begin my interview sessions with our players. We're going to mix it up, returning players, new guys, we'll mix it all around. We're not going to start too early. I don't want to get them to get too lost in as we get closer to the season, but start to look out for those. I drop those on Instagram and share them over to the Straub Sports Show Facebook page, but we got some stuff coming big time for the Rapids. This season is unfolding very well, making a lot of new signings. A lot of our guys that were here last year are hungrier than ever. Shout out to our guys who hop in and give us some love. Mari, Mike, Bobby Rhodes Jr., Sterling, everybody, Daniel, our owner, when he jumps in, Jamal, all our guys who jump in and say what's up. We appreciate you guys. That'll do it for us here. Drew, final shout outs.
Yeah, listen, thanks everyone commenting, watching. I don't see any likes, so those you better like this. So I can thank you for liking.
And do us a favor. On your way out, give us a like and subscribe.
Absolutely. I want to shout out, and you're gonna hate me for it, but I don't care. I'm gonna shout out my Cincinnati Bearcats because when they beat number 2 Iowa State, they officially beat a ranked Iowa State team in football, men's basketball, and women's basketball. All upsets, all wins there. That's crazy. Just because, I mean, the football one, we were like, oh, okay, yeah. Our basketball is not good this year, so for them to beat both Iowa State teams when they were ranked very highly is impressive, and shout out to them.
I was going to let you off the hook, but then you went shameless plug, so I got to shoot you back. I want to give a shout out to Cole Palmer, Chelsea midfielder. Manchester United rumors heating up that he's homesick from Manchester. He grew up a United fan and would be open to joining Manchester United. I just had to get that in and dig down.
Well, I'm just going to say the fact that I didn't see that at all, and I am on soccer Twitter 24/7 means that it was purely a Manchester United reporter that put that out there. And so I'm going to just choose not to believe that.
Or, every once in a while, I know I do it on the other sports. I have a fair footing with you, but on the footy end, you're the newsbreaker. Maybe just Big Bro got ahead of you on one and jumped ahead of you, but we'll see. No footy this week. We talked about it on Tuesday. We'll reconvene on, we doing Thursday?
We'll put a message out when we figure it out.
But more than likely, look for us next Thursday as we'll break down conference championships and we'll break down the NBA and the NCAA. For little bro Drew, I'm Big Bro signing off. I'll let Pops throw it in there and take us out. And as always, please remember to love yours.
Ken's got fire and a wild hot take. Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Laughing loud when your team goes down. Straub boys run this sports town. Show! This is the Straub Sports Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. College game day and Thursday night. Rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die.